बाद हम लोग मतलब बहुत सारे वहाँ पे सेलिब्रिटीज़ थे, तो बहुत सारे लोग पिक्चर्स वगैरह क्लिक करा रहे थे। और मतलब ऑफ कोर्स बहुत सारे लोग थे, सेलिब्रिटीज़ थे, डायरेक्टर्स थे, तो हम लोग भी कुछ कुछ लोग से मिले। एंड उसके बाद हम जल्दी से चले गए लंच करने, क्योंकि मतलब बहुत कम टाइम था। एंड उसके बाद गाइस जो स्टार्ट होने वाला था, जिसका ऑफ कोर्स हम काफ़ी टाइम से वेट कर रहे थे, तो बस इसकी वजह से हम जल्दी जल्दी गए। और मेरी उस दिन थोड़ी सी तबीयत ख़राब भी हो गई थी, बट ठीक है, थोड़ी बहुत हुई थी। तो हम जल्दी से लंच करके एंड काफ़ी मतलब इतनी सारी चीज़ें थी ना, मतलब होता है ना कभी कभी बहुत सारी चीज़ें जब होती है तो बिल्कुल माइंड ऐसा वर्क नहीं करता है कि क्या खाना है, क्या मतलब कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा था। तो भी मैंने और मेरी तबीयत भी थोड़ी थी, तो मैं जल्दी थोड़ा बहुत खा गए और फाइनली पूरे आए। उसके बाद मतलब मैं कुछ नहीं बोलने वाली, आप लोग जॉब देखो, मतलब ट्रस्ट बिलीव ही नहीं हो रहा था कि फाइनली हम इतने नज़दीक से देख रहे हैं या उस जगह पर हम हैं या सुन रहे हैं। सो बस आप लोग इन्जॉय करिए और देखिए।
Louder, you can be louder. I'm sure you can be louder. When Shah Rukh Khan named and now defined stardom, whose grit, grace and vision transformed obstacles into stepping stones and redefined what it means to succeed. And joining him is the luminous Deepika Padukone, a global icon, a global icon whose elegance, emotional depth and fearless choices have made her one of the most admired actors of our time. Together they reflect on the defining moments, inner battles and personal victories that may have shaped their iconic journeys. Moderated by the inimitable Karan Johar, this session is a heartfelt celebration of ambition, resilience and the magic that unfolds when you dare to dream beyond the script. You'll hear honesty, laughter and a rare glimpse into what it truly means to rise and stay at the top when the world expects you to start at the bottom.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for the love. Thank you for being here. And a very good afternoon to everybody. Oh my God, this is a humongous audience. I don't think we were ready for this kind of a welcome and an audience. All right, aren't written, they're fought for. Two incredible souls sit with us today, whose journeys began far from the gates of power, fame and legacy. What they've built to do this interview, a filmmaker of the highest reckoning in our country, one of the nicest people, a fantastic producer like his father used to be, a brilliant script writer, and I have been fortunate enough to have worked with him, so thank you. And I hope one day Deepika also gets a chance to work with this wonderful film director and producer. Thank you, Karan, for doing this for us. Bless you all. So if I praise Deepika, you'll also kiss me? Okay, let me begin by saying that this is truly exciting for me, not just as a filmmaker, as a cinegoer, but also knowing you both very personally over decades. With Bhai, of course, it's been 3 decades, and I still remember my first interaction with Deepika at Mannat. I met Deepika when she was shooting for Om Shanti Om. Probably didn't know it then that she would go on to become a global phenomena, and so proud, Deepika, of every achievement of yours. Congratulations. With Bhai, I don't need to say his achievements are ambition, hunger, pain, problems, those are just lofty words. You just need to be determined. ये मेरी दुनिया है और मुझे यहाँ पर काम करना है. I had the ability, I had the skill, maybe a little bit. बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं, इतना talented नहीं हूँ मैं. But I had lots of hard work, and that's all you need to make a place for yourself if you're an outsider. Next answer, इतना serious नहीं दूँगा, so we can enjoy more. Deepika, do you remember what the beginning felt like when you started your journey? I mean, when you began your journey with Shah Rukh himself, in Om Shanti Om, did you realize, did you feel, what was that feeling? What was that exact kind of emotion?
And she said once he's back, we'll do a meeting, and that was it. So for me, it just happened. Of course, I was a model before that, and they'd seen some of my work, but I never felt like I was an outsider trying to make my place in a new industry, or I had the dedication, I had the passion, I had the determination, the hard work. Those were the things in my control, and those were the things that I applied to what I was passionate about. But as a child, I felt like somewhere as a kid I knew that whatever I do in my life, I will do it well, to the best of my ability. And then Om Shanti Om happened, and again a place where I was just allowed to thrive, make mistakes. I never was made to feel like a newcomer or an outsider, and you've seen that so closely, Karan, in the way that I was presented. I can't think of the last time a newcomer was given a double role. Such meaty roles and characters, and something that you could really sink your teeth into, and opposite the biggest superstar of our country. I mean, it's unheard of, right? Call it destiny, hard work, whatever. But I think the point being that it felt like home. It felt comfortable. I could make mistakes. I could be vulnerable. And I think that's why I was able to thrive, and then the movie went on to do what it did, because it was just made with a lot of love.
And I just want to say, I was kind with her on the set because she was underage. So you can't reprimand children on your sets, like you don't expect your children to be reprimanded in school. And I just want to add one more thing, which is very personal, so please excuse me if I'm stepping beyond boundaries. But I think the role she's going to play the best, inshallah, is that of a mother now, with the dua. I think she's really, really going to be a wonderful mother.
No better feeling. No better feeling. I'm a parent of twins, and I felt like that was my biggest achievement. No matter what else happened in my life, when Yash and Ruhi were born, I just felt like I don't need anything beyond this. Nothing else matters. Nothing else does. Were there points though, and this is something that I'm sure you've sort of, you've gone through those beats emotionally. If I have to ask you, where you felt like things are not right, that that this is time for me to take a step back, because with all the achievement there also comes a certain level of loneliness, self-assessment, and then there comes a time where you feel like, should I just take a step back from everything, because times are different now for me than they were before.
The only time some years back, I was sitting at home and Karan Johar came to my house with a script. I won't name the script. And the script required me to be wearing a skirt throughout the film. That is the only time I wanted to step back. I said, यार इतने ऐसा तो नहीं होगा यार, मैं स्कर्ट पहन के पिक्चर में काम करूँगा. It was one of those films in olden times where men wore skirts. But men wore skirts, not androgynous men like me wearing skirts. So
It was the character, I think it wasn't anything.
वो character के लिए तू खुद स्कर्ट पहन के खुद एक्टिंग करना जब तेरा दिल करे.
People don't believe I could wear a skirt and do a film, I can assure you.
मैं pants में ठीक हूँ. But having said that, no, I've never felt the desire. Yes, whenever I failed, I have always felt the failure twice as much than I would, because I never do it personally. कि मेरी film flop हो गई, मेरा काम खराब हो गया. So I go through these pangs that I've let down lots of people around the world, because I know in 35 years, बहुत सारे लोग बहुत प्रेम से, बहुत दिल में चाह रखकर मेरी फिल्म देखने आते हैं कि हम एंटरटेन होंगे, हम खुश होंगे। तो जब मैं गंदी पिक्चर बनाता हूँ ना तो मुझे बहुत
There are people and he will be awkward. The same goes with Deepika. There is this duality, right? That people expect you to be a certain kind of person. Combating that duality is tough sometimes. Because people have a way of expecting you to always be Shah Rukh Khan. How tough is that?
I don't know. I don't work for expectations. I don't work for any other reason. I only do anything that I do with a lot of reality to it. मैं बहुत सच्चाई से करता हूँ। मुझे अगर कोई चीज़ अच्छी नहीं लगती, if I don't like it, I don't do it. So, but I'd be very honest. I don't know more than being anything else as an actor. I love making people smile and make them happy. So when I come on stage, I can be very shy, I can be very awkward, I am, all that. And that's why I love Deepika, because she's taller than me. So what happens is, when we go out to a party, I can hide behind her.
It's true. There are two awkward people, and then he runs behind me, and then I'm running behind him, and they're just trying to
So हम
hide
छुप
behind
जाते
each
हैं.
other.
But there is no duality. It's very strange. मैं बहुत shy हूँ. But with hundreds and thousands of people, I'm very happy because I know I can bring happiness to them. But if I go to a personal party, I don't know how many people are going to get happy. मैं तेरी पार्टी पे आया. जैसे मैं करण को बोल रहा था कि जब पार्टी पे बुलाता है तो फैंसी ड्रेस पार्टी होती है. The theme is gold. कहाँ से लेके आऊँगा gold? The theme is shimmer, sizzle. तो ऐसा ना, then I feel very much like an outsider, like a penguin in a zoo. in the wrong cage. So तब मैं outsider ज़रूर feel करता हूँ. But you know, when if I come to your party and I stand in the middle of the party, Karan has lovely parties, we all know. I come to that party and if I do this,
Of all kinds of complexes, because he's present for them at every juncture, at every annual day, every sports day, every event. He's training them to run. I can't do any of those things. I'm not physically capable. But like, he's just like this model parent. Like, how do you even do it? And why do you do it? Because we die of that comparison.
so I'll tell you. I think it's a line by a writer, a lady writer called Sue Townshend, or maybe I'm wrong. But I read it somewhere when I was growing up, and maybe because, you know, I'd lost my parents, so it has some effect, but I don't want to go in the past. It said, the decision to have a child is the decision to allow or take a piece of your heart and allow it to walk outside your body. So, I think, दिल का टुकड़ा ऐसा ना, मेरी माँ हैदराबादी थी, अम्मा तुम्हारा दिल का टुकड़ा ना, so it's really a piece of heart walking out. मेरे पास 3 हैं. एक बड़ा हार्ट है, एक मीडियम हार्ट है, एक छोटा हार्ट है. छोटे-छोटे पीसेस मेरे चारों तरफ. So I really feel, you know, even when you asked about the lonely at the top bit, I just like to tell everyone जो यहाँ पर हैं, जो जवान हैं जिनके बच्चे नहीं, उनको मैं एक तरकीब बताऊँगा. जो मेरी उम्र के हैं या जिनके बच्चे हैं, उनको ये तरकीब बताऊँगा. You will never be lonely if you can make your children laugh.
Yes, sir.
And those who don't have children, if you can make your parents laugh, you'll never be lonely. I think this is. मैं इतना फनी हूँ मेरे बच्चों के लिए कि मैं उनको अगर कभी डांटता भी हूँ या डांटता, मैंने आज तक डांटा ही नहीं बच्चों को. दीपिका को भी नहीं डांटा जब वो शांति होती बच्चे आए. So when I say something, अरे listen, you have to sleep by 10 o'clock. Mama has said this. So what do they do? Oh my God. SRK. बेटे को हाथ लगाने से पहले. They do all this. So I am a joke in my house, but more than a joke, I think I make my children happy, my family happy, my wife happy. And if you are young, then just make your parents happy, and you will never feel lonely in your life. I think that's the key.
But there's just some things that you do that are very tough for us to emulate. Because my son came to me once and said that Shah Rukh uncle trains Abraham before sports day. Why aren't you training me? I mean, can you imagine me training my son how to run on sports day? Do you think that's even physically possible? It's really quite terrifying.
I think, Karan, what you should do is, because Deepika is such a wonderful athlete, it's in her genes.
Send them to me.
नहीं. पहले करण तू ट्रेन हो जा हमारे साथ. उसके बाद तू जाके बच्चों को ट्रेन कर. हाँ. एक तो पहले तो हम तुझको सिखाएंगे कि जब 100 meters on your marks, set go होता है, तो ऐसे नहीं भागते.
I don't know when this became a roast, but anyway. आपने जो भी कहा सर आंखों पर. But as you know, and this is a question I'm dying to ask really. By your own admission, you have said that you can romance even a tree. Now, everybody knows, and all of you wonderful women in the audience will agree, who can romance better than Shah Rukh Khan on screen? Nobody. Like literally the line in आँखों की मस्ती के मस्ताने हजारों हैं can be absolutely applicable to Shah Rukh in so many ways. The way he looks at any of his leading ladies could melt them beyond their own imagination. Chemistry is something that is always attributed to Shah Rukh Khan where it comes to his leading ladies. We all know Shah Rukh and Deepika have incredible on-screen chemistry. What really truly constitutes this word, chemistry? Like, is there something academically associated with it, or is it just in your DNA and you can't help it?
And you know,
maybe Deepika, you should answer this.
I'm very offended, by the way.
Why?
Because then you're calling me a tree. Which also you have said, by the way.
no, I never said that. I never called.
I don't think he meant it personally to you. I think he meant that his eyes are so full of romance that he could romance an object as well.
Let's give him a...
छुपा
इस बोतल को अपने से प्यार करना.
हो भी जाएगा बोतल को प्यार आपसे.
Only for Deepika. तेरी आंखों की नमकीन मस्ती.
my finances, like everything. Everything has to be looked at and done.
Good, well done. Deepika, if I had to ask you what you would tell your younger self today, it's a question I know we've heard, we've been asked, but I know what I would tell my younger self. What would you tell your younger self today, having achieved everything? Is there a piece of advice you would give it to yourself when you began?
I'm actually going to tell myself that I've done pretty well. You know.
Good. Yes, you have. More than pretty well.
Because I don't think you don't really sit back and sometimes look at the journey, and I've always been very critical. I've always been someone who looks at something and I'm like, I don't celebrate the moments too much. I'm someone who looks at something very, in a sort of straightforward manner. Okay, this worked. Okay, this didn't work. What can I do better? Okay, I did well. Move on. I've always moved on from good things in my life. I've paused, looked at it, moved on. If something not so great has happened, okay, what could I have done better? And learn from that and move on. But I think today when I look back at the journey, a small thing like, I didn't realize when I made the decision at that time, but as an 18-year-old to move cities from, and to come to a city like Mumbai and leave your parents behind is actually a big decision which I didn't realize at the time.
Global, and her love that pours in towards her performances and her work and art has been, of course, literally something that we can go on and on about. Shah Rukh Khan, the living legend of...
Gentle as Shah Rukh Khan said, but not with your applause, ladies and gentlemen, please. And thank you so much, Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone, as well as Karan Johar for that lovely, insightful and intimate conversation. It was very entertaining at the same
them simultaneously. to hundreds of millions of screens in cinema halls, homes, and on mobile phones and computers across geographies and languages. What AI is doing to entertainment now is a million times.
Mr. Ramani for painting that well thought picture of advantage India when it comes to building the next global entertainment revolution.
We definitely would like to see you back here at an appropriate time on Bollywood films. I want to know from you what you think about it.
What makes a star a superstar? Is it the ability to choose the right script? Or is it about the timing? Are superstars born or made? One man has shown the world that he can't be broken and he won't bend. Allu Arjun, uncut, unplugged, unscripted. Decoding talent beyond borders in conversation with Barun Das.
सो गाइज उसके बाद हम एक दो और सेलिब्रिटीज़ को ऐसे मतलब उनके जो भी चल रहे थे हम लोग वहाँ गए हैं, थोड़ा बहुत बैठे वगैरह, क्योंकि होता है ना मेन हमें जिसको देखना था हम देख लिए एंड लेट भी हो रहा था क्योंकि सेकेंड डे का भी था। तो बस इसके बाद हम निकल गए घर को और आई होप आप लोगों को आज का ये मेरा ब्लॉग अच्छा लगा हो। अगर अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज़ लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब माय चैनल। और बस इसके बाद मैं जल्दी ही सेकंड डे का एक ही साथ डालकर ख़त्म करूँ। तो जल्दी मिलते हैं नए और एक इंटरेस्टिंग ब्लॉग के साथ, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय।